I hear the echoes of victory in field won before time, when battle draws so near. You will feel the same in war. Below is the battle, below one before, and the memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below one before, memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below and before. The memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below and before. The memory stays ever so bitter. I hear the echoes of victory in field won before time, when battle draws so near. You will feel the same in war. Below is the battle, below and before. The memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below and before. The memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below one before. The memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below one before. The memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below one before. The memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below one before. The memory stays ever so bitter.
And I ordered 9 chicken
Hello
nuggets.
and good evening.
Hi.
Hello.
We love chicken nuggets here. Hi, everyone.
Hello,
We
Yes, unaffiliated chicken nuggets.
unaffiliated chicken
But
nuggets.
McDonald's, if you'd like to sponsor us.
No, we don't need chicken nuggets right now. But well, I mean, I would go for some chicken nuggets right now. But you know. Anyway, welcome to TaleChasers on Friday evening with me, your dungeon master of this evening and every evening of Friday evenings.
oh, we are
Why
indeed
am I
here.
hearing a Why did I just start hearing a McDonald's ad? Oh, guys, I
Yeah.
did have open.
McDonald's.
I opened Twitch to open the stream, and it started with the McDonald's ad for McCrispy.
Holy shit, we
What the
are
fuck?
sponsored.
It is sponsored by McDonald's right away. I was wondering where that sound was coming from. Like,
Interesting.
guys, is anyone hearing that? No. Okay.
But
But yes, this is me, Amber, your dungeon master of this evening, and these are my Stargazers.
hello.
-1.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we're a bit late today because we had some technical issues. Namely, with the stream kit that was problematic, and that is why we're not so animated today, as it were.
We're
But-
doing our best.
I'm Kawaii Desu.
I mean, yeah, you have animations.
It's true.
very
That's
true.
about it, though. You can tell that Vittorio's in a different place than normally because his little necklace is like dangling in a different place.
I knew there was something I missed.
Don't sweat.
Sweat.
Anywho, thank you for being here, everyone. We played last week, and it wasn't that long ago, but I would still like a tiny little recap for the person who wasn't here last time, which is our brave little colleague and friend Brandon, who spent a week getting married. Hello, congratulations, Brandon. We love you.
Congratulations!
Yeah, congratulations,
Congratulations.
Very nice pictures.
Yeah.
Very cute. Little crying picture because he's so happy.
As for
Exactly.
a recap,
I
sure.
can do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, we began the session introducing our lovely party to, well, new arc, new us. Introducing each of our characters to each other once more, to you, the viewers, describing our new looks, showing off our new assets. Wink, wink. Um, before we met the person that was going to teleport, or, well, plane shift, I imagine. I'm not sure what we specifically did. I didn't make an Arcana check on the spell he rolled, so I have no idea. Anyway, well, yeah, I was going to get to that. You guys don't see the chat. I do. I was going to get to that. Anyway, the first more important thing is it's clearly that Zarius is not the only dragon in the party. Tokas and Lawrence were getting a murder boner just to kill this man because he was wearing a robes of the Archmagi.
Excuse me, Liam and
Or
Gabriel
maybe it just
were
looked
getting
like
a
one.
boner, to do so.
Maybe it just
because-
looked like one. Like, have you ever
Okay,
seen my
the
robe,
two
the
players
Arkhona?
here.
Like,
The two players here.
anyway.
But we eventually sat on the ship, and the man that was casting the spell started shaping the water into a sort of twister for us to go down in, removing the water so that we could sink through the portal towards the ethereal expanse. I think one of us failed the check to stay on the boat,
Me.
which was Lawrence. Then Lawrence realized, wait a minute, I can fly. So he spent no time hiding the fact that he was an angel from the crew. He, in fact, pretty much immediately revealed it. Anyway,
They're gonna have
we
to
ma-
get used to it anyway. I'll whip them later for it.
we managed to get to the other side, where our boat was floating in water with, in my head, a void on either side, leaving us into a sort of straight, narrow line of water that we had to go through. While we were doing this, suddenly one of us, I think was Tokas, or was it Lawrence, who noticed the thing first? It was Lawrence, wasn't it?
Lawrence.
Yeah. Well, most of us saw a purple wave approaching us from behind. Darius, being afraid of water, was already terrified. Well, he should have been, but not because of the water. In fact, what this was a greater herald of change, whose name I can't pronounce, sending a buttload of demons at us while we were trying to get to the other side of this narrow passageway towards the ethereal expanse. A fight happened, and lots of fires were set. Our ship was assaulted by fire spewers, but also these weird little flying, well, not little, they were medium-sized, I think, creatures launching across us and taking us down. They did heavy damage, forcing us to focus on putting out fires while fighting them, because otherwise our ship might burn down before we even get to the ethereal expanse in the first place. However, each round, the Herald of Change came closer and closer, up until he got within 120 feet, being able to launch a spell towards our ship and us as players, covering us in an acidic,
Viltriotic sphere.
I was going to just say an acidic slime, as an acidic ball exploded, covering each of us in an acidic burn. This burn itself was very damaging, but this wasn't the end of the assault of this great herald. No, it also sent a big-ass fireball thing with more than normal fire, with basically magic fire, that downed two of our party members. It was a big wave of fire. I don't know the specific spell, but if it was a big... Every one of us got on fire. I thought it was a fireball because it was a radius. We were measuring
Fireball
radius.
plus immolation plus
Something.
death.
But this took two of us down, leaving them burning to a crisp. Something that they could only resist by essentially putting themselves out, something you can't do while you're on the floor dying. Tokus and I were continuously trying to fight off the rest of the creatures, with us not being able to spend much time trying to save our comrades. And even when the fighting was down, it was only because Tokus managed to dispel Magic Zarius that he remained standing. He dispelled the flames that covered his body and continuously tried to burn. Might I add, he was also trying to have a normal ass conversation with me while I was burning to death. Anyway, this fire was dispelled, and then I could talk. But then we realized we lost two of our comrades. Both Lawrence and Vittorio had died. That's not good news. As essentially what we had to do is our best friend, Baron Vasily of Arcus, was, how do I say this? Saw his dead lover and immediately cast the resurrection spell up on him with our 5,000 gold pieces worth component. I think that was like, it was worth a lot of
Why
fucking
did you
gold
get so
pieces.
close when you said that?
Because it hurts me. Because it's 5,000 gold pieces and I want money.
I like money.
That's like less than one ship.
Anyway, this brought Lawrence back, and Lawrence, in essentially in a forced position, with all of us basically screaming at his face that no matter what he was feeling, he had to bring Vittorio back. Otherwise, the time for the spell would have been over. Brought back Vittorio. Now, Zarius didn't know what happened in the other realm, but the other realm, while the people were dead, they were on a strange, mystical, in my head, island that wasn't really an island, but like a weird, in my head, spiritual island, um, where they could either investigate the sound or basically go back. I think they both started investigating the sound, but before any kind of resolution could be brought, Lawrence was pulled back into the living world, and then Vittorio quickly after. Like, imagine 20 seconds, because that's about how much time we had until resurrection would no longer work. And that's about where we left off.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Before we properly delve into what happens right after the events of last session, I want to welcome you all to the Ethereal Expanse. Since this is a completely new space for you and for me and for everyone, basically.
Thank you.
Pulling that in. There we go.
I immediately just don't like this. This is the worst thing that you could have shown me. This, what the fuck is this giant ass whale thing?
Don't worry about it.
I do worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Today is going to be a bit of, getting ourselves acquainted with this setting and what it means for us as people going into a mostly ship-based lifestyle for a while. But also going into a new place that you guys have obviously done various degrees of research on over the weeks and months that you've prepared to go here. I say varying. Some of you did not, like, at all. We'll just say that you wanted to be surprised.
Never got around to making my roll. So sad.
Yeah.
Steering wheels goes left and right, and that's what I know, because that's what I need to do.
Yeah, left and right. Exactly. I would like to start with just a little bit of an introduction that I did read to you guys already, but that was before we were playing. That was before we were actually playing.
Yeah, that was only our metaphor playing.
The map was cursed. There was no doubt about it, if it even was a map. Televos had sailed Aether's Boon from Wind Crown to Shipgrave Reef and half the places in between, and he'd never seen a layout of islands quite like it. Nobody had. Not even old Pilkin, who named every uninhabitable rock that they passed like it was a new constellation in the sky, and who liked to sing them out to the tune of By the Chariot's Heavenly Light. Not even Mariah, whose eyes were twice as old as her face, and who talked about Iris and Caroline arriving in the Expanse like she had had a front row seat through the entire century of war. Sometimes, Televos wasn't even sure why he left it out, other than to give whoever made their way into his quarters something to talk about other than whether some crew of drakes had been spotted in the area, or whether an aether storm was brewing. Half the crew was convinced that it was a treasure map, and that they'd come away with crates of Ethereum crystals if they could ever find out where it led. And the other half had been on the ship long enough to know that something about it wasn't right. Sometimes you'd swear there'd been an island somewhere on the edge of the page, and then it was gone, or it was bigger, or it had sharper corners. Sometimes, if you looked at the water, it seemed to move just a little bit. Sometimes the whole thing smelled like old smoke cutting through the fresh, clean air. And then the pieces started showing up. The first one had been a tentacled aether beast carved from some sort of wood that Televos didn't recognize. It was sitting in the middle of the paper like, well, never you mind how it got there. And half a day later, they'd run into something just like it in the flesh. It nearly ripped a hole in the sails, and they'd gone through every bit of ammo they had trying to drive it away. He had tossed it overboard as soon as they were finished with the repairs, but it was back the next day in the very same spot, like the work of some Ethereum guzzling mage. Next, there'd been a common shark, which was nothing to worry about for a break the size of Aether's Boon, but that was the week they'd rescued a sailor who'd swallowed some aether on a swim and who nearly died of poisoning. And then they'd gotten swindled out of half of their cargo, playing him in high-stake flotilla. A shark indeed. After that, Televos had kept track, figured that knowing was half the battle, but the pieces never made sense till afterwards. A horse, for the time they'd found a pack of wild ones on an uncharted island, or a ship for the time they were stuck in the doldrums for a week with no air in their sails. And once they were on the table, he could only move them from one side to the other, like some sort of game. Biding time till he figured out what the rules were exactly. From the mostly true tales of Televos Tram. The ethereal expanse is not quite like Etharis. It is dark. Perpetual twilight fills the skies here. There is no sun. The radiant power that gives life to all things in the plane that we come from is absent. And yet, the night sky is bright in its own way. Countless stars shimmer in blues and purple-hued skies streaked with nebulous clouds of green and red, and shrouded within a perpetual, ambient, dim light. Generally speaking, the only places that are brightly lit are settlements, due to candles, lamps, or some other form of illumination. Therefore, omnipresent, equidistant constellations that shine at all times on the distant horizons, which sailors have learned to navigate by. It is believed, though, that these constellations, unlike other stars, are actually some sort of permanent portals to elemental expanses. Standard compasses don't function here, although some planefarers have created compasses that are attuned instead to the elemental expanses. It's a compass that always points airward. And just like a magnet disrupts a normal compass, so does an elemental. So can an elemental foul an astral compass. The air here is always clean and crisp. There is no water in the sea, because the sea itself is a seemingly endless, but not without end, expanse of liquid magic known as Aether. There are plants and animals in the ethereal expanse, and the plants love the stars. There's no plant life that is native to the silvery seas, but countless plants have been transplanted from countless planes, some intentionally, others accidentally, and now they thrive. They're rooted in desolate floating islands, and they have adapted to their new environment better than a lot of people would have. Some of them are great tropical palms which grow massive, deep green leaves, fueled less by dim starlight and more so by surrounding magic. The jungles of the sea have this oversaturated feeling to them. Too real for reality. And some plants drink deeply from the seas of liquid aether, and they grow beyond their natural vibrancy, and they take on truly supernatural appearances. They have long, tendrils leaves that sway with sentience on windless day, while others develop fenestrations that look like glyphs in a language that very few people speak, that of the sea itself. For people, sleeping and resting beneath a perpetually twilit sky is no different than it is anywhere else, as long as you can adapt to rousing and sleeping beneath a star-dappled sky. Long rests are still 8 hours, but people generally sleep for a couple hours at a time, and then they rise once or twice and perform a couple of light activities, and then they sleep once more on rotating schedules. Your captain, one of two at the moment, but the one that refers to himself as Captain solely and no other name, the one that is not Vincent, has also tried to bestow upon you just a little bit of the history of this place, as much as he understands it anyway. You see, the ethereal expanse is incredibly ancient, but mortal chronicles are exceedingly rare. Eldros believes that long ago there was a civilization of plain-faring people who perished in a magical catastrophe, that they had longed for godlike power and that their greed had become their undoing. They managed to obtain this power for just a split second, and in the same heartbeat, it annihilated them. But in some sort of twisted, cruel punishment, their minds were preserved, even when their bodies were not. In the Expanse, The Expanse is a conglomeration of all of their wailing souls, and thus it only makes sense that when you ingest the waters here, your body and your mind are torn asunder by the pure despair and anger of these spirits, leading to aether poisoning. But there is a different reason that you guys are here. You seek something that lies far beneath the waves. In a place where only legends can tread. Creatures of the Aether, as well as other creatures from other planes banished to this one by magical mishap or experimentation, have often found their way into the Expanse. Over the centuries, this realm has mutated them, changed them from what they were, and caused them to adapt to this new home. Supposedly, the greatest of these were cosmic turtles. Tales that survived from the earliest planefaring civilizations say that they were once ordinary beasts, no larger than a human fist, but that over the centuries of exposure to Aether, they gained the capacity for great wisdom and grew so large that islands could grow upon their backs. Nevertheless, they're now considered extinct, for no sailor of the Expanse has seen one for at least a century. Trying to contain my chuckle as I watch some gifs appear on the sidebar.
So sorry.
Most assuredly. Now, cosmic turtles were very long ago, and they don't affect you right now. But what does affect you are two of the largest players in the Expanse right now. About a century ago, before the current day here, there were two huge and powerful nations from different worlds and their own layers of existence who created a way to make stable portals to the Expanse. The only part of the Aether that they could explore by using their naval ships. The first was the Kingdom of Iris. They were a tiny coastal nation on their homeworld. They prospered as a realm of traders that their warlike neighbors maintained good relationships with. They kept a very small naval fleet at home, but they protected their homeland mostly with a well-paid mercenary army and equally well-paid privateers. The boldest of these privateers were hired and offered huge sums to enter the portals conjured up by Irisian mages and venture into the astral sea to go on an adventure of a lifetime. To guard Irisian settlers, botanists, geologists, and explorers as they hunted for a new, valuable resource across the Expanse. And they found it in the form of Ethereum. You see, the Aether itself was overflowing with magical power, but immersing oneself in it too long caused horrific poisoning and quite a quick death. So liquid aether was not an option. But crystallized aether, they found, was stable and even non-poisonous when harvested within this plane, meaning it could be transported quite easily. And so they longed for the substance to advance their experiments and their arcane potential. And their neighbors salivated at the destructive capabilities of such a source of energy. And about a decade after Iris had settled, a new contender showed up. They were the Caroline Empire. They hailed from another world entirely, and they too had discovered the potential of Ethereum to enhance their military capabilities, and they catapulted their technology levels centuries into the future, seemingly overnight. They were not quite like Iris with their small ships and their privateer army. No. The Caroline Empire came equipped with a navy that, if mustered in full, could stretch from horizon to horizon when laid side by side, and they swept across the astral seas. They engaged in bitter battles with Irisian colonists and their privateer navy, and this war lasted for decades. And it ended in a stalemate when both the nations, war-weary as they were, desired more so to return to hunting down Ethereum. And so, over this last century, and even in the centuries before that, people have come and gone to the ethereal expanse. Countless people have been lost on deserted islands, and the spirits of those who die here are claimed by the roiling consciousness of the Aether itself. Although few people understand why or how, some of the bodies lost at sea have risen again, inhabited by restless spirits broken off from the Aether's gestalt consciousness, perhaps. These people call themselves astral emergents. They are few and far between, and they live only in scattered communities, but they call the expanse their home, and perhaps no one has more of a right to it than they do. And so when the war broke out between Carol and Iris, and the defectors grew larger and larger in number over the decades, many of them took their ships and they settled on islands where already handfuls of these astral emergents had made their homes. They banded together and began to form pirate crews. They harried imperial and kingdom vessels alike for wealth and resource that they needed to survive. And the most feared among them all was Taruko the Drake and her ship the Drake, who had settled on an island far from military encampments of the Kingdom of Iris and the Caroline Empire, and they declared it a free haven for all pirates across the expanse. Following her death, the islands were named the Isles of Drake, and in the decades since the War of the Invaders had ended, jobless sailors have flocked to it in search of fortune and glory in the only way they know now: by sowing fear, death, and destruction across the sea. It is important for you now to consider who you'd like to treat with, if any. You'd like to evade everyone, given the chance.
Yeah, I refuse to engage.
Was that a
with
question or was that a
this
rhetorical
thing?
Food for thought.
It's
Okay.
okay. We're gonna sink all the Carline Empire ships we see. Yippee!
We're just gonna go swim in the ethereal expanse.
Yeah, we're gonna get sunk, man.
I mean, there's one thing I want to almost immediately do, but that depends on where we leave off.
Oh, it depends if the introduction is over.
Yeah.
That's true. Amber.
Four. What am I saying?
5.
6.
7. 8.
Jinx.
We could not
I'll
count
count
down to
back.
10. That's how far we can go. That's
Chat,
that's-
are we
that's-
cooked?
We're cooked.
Counting is
We
hard.
are
bro.
cooked.
We can't count that high. We're definitely cooked.
This is very rough. Five figures lay still upon the deck. Their bodies are indiscernible from one another between weighted black shrouds embellished with yellow golden threads. They died as they had lived, beloved by some and known by few. Perished before you even got to know them. A gruff voice speaks, rolling over your ship's surface. I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a constellation to steer her by. And the wheels kick and the wind song and the white sails shaking and a pallid mist on the sea's face and a bright dawn breaking. I must go down to the sea again, for the call of the running tide is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. And all I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying and the flung spray and the blown spume and the aether gulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant's traveller's life, to the gull's way and Numamon's way where the wind's like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and quiet sleep, and a sweet dream when the long trick's over. Today, we say goodbye to Rory red-handed who read stars like books and who would have surely played the bagpipes each morn until we had lost our minds. We shall never know the stories that Eli Schwartz had promised to tell me when we arrived here over time sailing for the Imperial Navy. We'll have surely learned why she was dishonorably discharged as well. Marisol was too kind of a soul for any life on the ship, no matter how hard she worked, but never did she let little Grundy travel anywhere alone, not even beyond the twilight veils of our world. And Sly, had we faced down a crew and not the monsters of the abyss itself, Sly would have surely talked us right out of this one. We commit here today, these bodies to the deep, in the sure and certain hope of an eternal life beyond. Now my introduction is completely over.
Or not yippee. Not so yippee.
Our captain is above. He actually has levels in our Captain.
Yeah, huge. Unbelievable.
So, while this is all very beautiful, I really want to sleep.
That's kind of insensitive, alright.
We just had a fight, bro. What do you mean?
Your entire crew turns to you, Zarias, with like a quirked eyebrow.
I'm just saying, you wouldn't say such things at a funeral. This is kind of what it is, Arius.
Well, I thought we were still literally seconds after when we first, left off last time.
I'm not sure if you heard the fact that the 5 people we've lost have been laid out on the bridge. Were you not here when Captain Dalros did the entire speech?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm still kind of reeling.
I mean, you were on fire like a few hours ago. I understand that. Anyways, it is a pity, but we must look at the positive side of things. Came out mostly alive, and the casualties could have been bigger. Now we have to figure out a plan on what's next. That was the easy part. We knew where to go. Now we don't.
I mean, it was never the easy part. Anyway, I break out my cello, put it on the ground, and I'll start playing a song.
A shanty, even.
No.
Like a perfect shanty for Zarius.
It is, a like it is a funeral, so we put a bit more sad music on. Here we go. I'll play that song that I will learn to play after the battles at Castanilla. To respect the soldiers, which I guess is kind of the weird way to respect these people, but I guess they're more soldiers than sailors.
They're sailors first.
Yeah, but I'm trying to recall our crew was lent to us by the government, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but not all of them.
But they're
It is-
navy.
I
Or is
mean,
it,
no.
like sailors.
They are sailors first and foremost, and most of them are made up of people that Taldros replaced after he, well, let's just say it
Sacrificed
wasn't
them, yeah.
easy. Let's just say it wasn't easy to find a lot of people who were willing to go and dive into a fucking crazy ass portal with you.
That's a crazy statement to make.
I mean, yeah,
No.
I imagine that most of the crew were like, I want to say people who didn't quite fit in the Imperial Navy or got discharged.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would make the most sense.
Correct, but there was also definitely a few where Taldros said, "I'm sorry, but no." He gave them one good look, and he was like, "I need more loyal people."
Yeah.
Fair, yeah. Yeah, I'll play
Darius,
this.
you only minorly recover the social credit you just lost with the crew. If you were captain, this would have cost you a medal die.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, sure.
Got cooked.
But you play, and people slowly begin to filter back towards their stations. There are some repairs to be done. Your ship took a bit of damage.
Yeah, poor little
A lot of
baby.
fire damage, so that has to be
That's good. That's good. That's good.
sanded down and whatnot.
No, my baby.
Some places have to be repainted. A lot of things got smashed below deck as well in the panic and whatnot.
Damn, crazy. Your crew panicking. Unbelievable.
Regardless, your ship drifts not too far from a group of islands. And there is a moment of quiet and reflection as each of these weighted, shrouded, essentially people packages are loaded into, the Aether one by one, and they disappear beneath the waves. You wanted to say something, Ferris?
Yeah, as I guess as people are getting to work, whatnot, Vittorio, he mostly towards the party and captain included. It's like, right, I'll make sure to look over how everything is doing below deck. People, supplies, equipment, all of that. We should probably figure out where we're going next.
I have a few ideas about that.
Well, pray do
But
tell.
this is your journey.
Well, I don't think he would come to any harm to hear suggestions from someone that's been there already. Of course,
Word does not contribute to this conversation.
we won't be able to sail directly to the Maelstrom, as far as I believe. Thus, I suppose gathering some information of what's around us, the people, and the means, perhaps that's our first step. If we cannot go to the place we need to go, we'll simply find a way to.
That's easy thinking.
You could sail into the Maelstrom, no problem, within a few days' time.
Yeah, well, sailing
Your
into it.
suicidal mission, though.
Sailing into it is the first objective. The second is survive it and dive underneath it.
Aye. She's got many qualities, but submersible is not one of them.
I'm afraid I've
Speaking
seen
of
some.
her, I'm gonna run up to the what do you call it? The wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to open my witch sight. I want to see what this place is like.
Sure, go ahead.
Immediately assaulted by 1 more billion souls.
Well, I mean, if I want to see if I can get in tune with the ship at any point, I need to learn how to open my witch sight here in general.
The ship doesn't have a soul.
No, but basically feel the aether around it.
He wants to wayfind.
Basically,
That's what
well, I'm not now. I'm literally just trying to experience.
no, but that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
The aether around you is like the air, crisp and clean and quiet. You're nowhere near close enough atop this boat to sense the waves beneath you. You only sense quiet.
It's not overwhelming. It's like a easy afternoon after a long day of work.
Oh, that's a way to put it. Well, gonna have to get acquainted into that for a while.
Well, I don't feel I'm not a repairsman, but the damage to your ship, shouldn't our first goal be a place to repair it?
Well, as far as I saw, it's not major. I don't believe we're in a rush to find a place. But it would be good to seek a port. I believe if we start sailing around for too long without knowing where we can dock, we find ourselves without food and supplies before we can even search around.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my point. You know, not only we repair the ship, but if we're lost or if we're need a point of, anchorage, we'd at least know where that is.
Well, and I suppose the first thing we should seek for is a settlement with a big enough port. I don't believe our ship is going to be that sizable to house, but you never know.
Or we make our own. Like the pirate stories where they go onto an island unpopulated by everyone and then they make one.
I think we don't have time to make a port. Perhaps we do, but I don't think we can afford to.
Anyway,
The coffers are quite empty.
They
Come
are.
to my quarters. We will study the map, he says as he begins walking to the captain's quarters where Vincent moved in.
My quarters.
yeah, I guess.
Where Vincent already moved in.
Blinka splinka, I suppose.
Do I not need to stay at the helm?
The ship is not fucking sailing. It's literally laying here still in the water.
Yeah, the
I
ship
don't
is
know.
still.
I don't know how
The
fucking
ship is
boats
anchored.
work.
The bip is
Your ship is
anchored.
anchored.
oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm still learning. Give me.
The bip is pampered.
Everyone good?
Lawrence.
Will not join the party.
I was about to get to you.
Oh, okay.
Lawrence Vasily walks with you to the stern of the ship, leaning on the balustrade. He's looking out over the little islands that are no more than a couple stones throws away from you. What is on your mind?
How still everything is. And how everything just hurts right now. How I can smell the burnt hair all across my body, my nose, and my eyes are still blurry from the fire. I don't think I have a single concrete thought right now, Vasily.
I understand. Not your whole experience, of course. Are you sure that this is the way forward?
I don't know. It's a way.
But is life really worth all of this?
All of this suffering and pain and struggle. Yeah, it is. But that is what it means to live. says with this sort of like almost dreamlike distance in his eyes and tone.
It pains me to see you like this.
Sort of blinks and eyes sort of like blurrily looking in Vasily's direction, but not really at him. There's almost like a sort of distance to them even then. But he says, sorry, I did something as foolish as that. You shouldn't have to experience me of all people passing away.
I think perhaps some time ago I would have thought that your endeavor was incredibly foolish. But I do not think ever that what you do to protect yourself and to protect all these others here is foolish.
You understand that you also have a role here and a place here, and that you are wanted here. And that it is not foolish neither.
No, Lawrence. I do not always think this.
Glad. Very glad of this.
I think you misunderstand.
Hmm?
I often feel like an outsider looking in to a time and a place where I should not have been.
That rhymes.
I am somewhat of a poet.
And I know it.
And that rhymes too.
I wish I could fix my head right now so I could feel more present right now with you. Because, and to assure you that even if you feel this way, you know, I'm here.
He flashes you somewhat of like a lopsided smile. I am just talking to get your head all, gotten right again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you should rest. And once you get your thoughts all in the right order again, we should talk about this. Perhaps I am not the best conversational partner on the topic of death. We are not that well acquainted after all.
I think you might be the most acquainted. For who among these mortal men has seen nearly as much as you? For you have lived past your time, as you said, but you have seen so much.
There will always be a difference between watching death do its work from a distance and feeling her lips upon your own.
I suppose so. No, you are right. This makes the third time I've died. The third time I have felt the lips of death, as you say.
I'm starting to think you like kissing her more than you like me, but like...
It's one-sided. Kind of affection. It would seem.
I guess I will have to roll up my sleeves and go beat on her myself, as they say.
Yes. Channeling that inner feisty Morensian.
I have never been to Morency in my life.
And yet you burn with their fervor.
It must have been the, what was his name again? Ah yes, the barrel of siren I had for breakfast.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. You don't think it's contagious, do you?
I'm afraid so. Soon the whole ship will be just like this. Close quarters. Spreads like wildfire.
Whatever will we do?
Succumb, of course.
Right now I want to succumb directly into floor.
Maybe we should find you one of those quirky little things they call hammock in the lower deck. It is basically like flying, but you are suspended by 2 strings to sleep. It's like
Well.
sleeping on an uncomfortable cloud.
As long as you are hosting, please show me the way, good sir.
Oh, I will tell you all about all the magnificent, musty-smelling places I have found on my time below the deck.
Excellent. I look forward to their welcoming aromas.
Speaking of below the deck,
Mhm.
One last thing, Amber. I just want to tell Vasily.
of course.
That how do I say this? Thank you for wrestling that crazy woman off my lips, Vasily. I kind of assumed that I would just keep reviving at this rate, but it's kind of occurring to me that I may have misjudged my situation.
I think once we get things in order, then we can figure out what the situation is exactly. Because I am also not entirely sure.
I didn't know you could even bring people back to life. You use the weird blood whippy thing I saw you do that one time.
Yes, I cannot feel my legs right now.
Well, let us both go find a hammock then.
Certainly. He says as he begins hobbling with his stiff legs.
And hobble we do.
The below deck where Vittorio is checking equipment.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Equipment, people, any damages.
You suffered only like a single or maybe 2 fires below the deck from people panicking and knocking like candles and lamps over, starting fires.
That's
The
surprising.
supplies you have are still secured
That's good.
in place. You didn't use any ammunition.
Yeah. He's just being thorough is all. And as he's walking around down below deck, we'll also see if he can't locate Lawrence.
Lawrence is not yet below deck. Can you roll me a d6?
D6.
Mm-hmm.
D2.
Mm-hmm. Double check your ship.
You explode.
Kaboom! Oh, sorry guys, the gunpowder barrels explode.
Sorry guys, I forgot to roll the explosion dice earlier. Now
Rip.
we're
You're all dead.
gonna see
Yeah, I
how
didn't have
hard
to
you
roll it,
explode.
fortunately.
Finally.
Yeah, we're gonna go close, too close for comfort. You know what I mean?
Death
Mm-hmm.
take me.
Death will take you, I'm afraid. I don't think Death will have a lot of problems taking.
Vittorio, there is someone below deck who's also checking the equipment. They're like counting every single like piece of ammunition.
Oh, I'll
Ridiculous, damn.
Very
I'll
meticulously.
now I'll check up on them. Mosey on over. Oh, see someone else is busy. That's good.
Concerned, more like. Things would be rolling about. Says the young man as he turns to you. You know, he wasn't actually, like, leaning on the wall or anything, as you initially might have thought in this cramped space. But he's instead leaning on an aid, like a walking aid.
Oh, okay. So he missing? Is he missing a leg?
Yeah, you look down on his leg. He has one regular human foot, and he's one leg that looks like a peg leg, but it has this design of a tentacle, like, wrapped all the way around it. You recognize him as one of the few people that Taldros managed to scrounge up who had actually been to the Expanse before.
Hmm.
His name is Bastian.
Ah, it's him.
He has this slightly, like, slicked back, a little bit, like, fluffy looking brown hair. He's got a bit of, like, scruff around his face. He's recently shaved off his beard before going here. So he's got like a 1 or 2 day stubble going on around his face.
Hmm. Yeah, Tori, kind of looks him up and down. Extends a hand.
Bastian puts back one of the a rather hefty looking set of chains that are, like, attached to one another with this, like,
Chain shot.
basically chain shot, yes. 2 weights attached to one another by a huge, chain. As he clinks them back into the chest and closes it, and he will extend the hand to you. The name is Bastian. We did meet before, but it was a brief thing, and
Yeah, I remember.
you know how Taldros is.
Yeah, and name's Vittorio.
You're that they call you Witchers?
Witcher or Slayer. I suppose either works. Monster Hunter works as well, but you don't need to be what I am to be a monster hunter.
We got those where I come from, but no.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, this is quite extreme. Right, the whole... He, like, kind of, like, makes a motion for his pupils and whatnot.
Let's just say, I don't really like the people who made me what I am.
Oh, I can imagine that.
But
You come from one fucked up place.
yeah, it is a pretty fucked up place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do come from a pretty bad place.
I thought this man was
Which-
also Arconian.
Yeah.
He's not.
Wait, he's not.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not.
I mean, he did just say
That's
you
what he
come from a
said.
pretty fucked up place, but I'm like, what the fuck did you get him? How did he get on our ship?
Did you read the thing?
No, he didn't.
I mean, I know he's not from Arcona, but what I'm wondering is,
Hey,
how the fuck
spoilers.
did he get on our ship while we were in Arcona? Then
Maybe you should ask him.
I mean, you got a point.
like, bro,
Like, bro, where you
No.
come from? We
Yeah.
were in Arkhona like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, he says that, and he's like, yeah, suppose I do. But I mean, actually, out of character, because this is important. I assume Taldros has not mentioned much about those specific people he managed to bring with.
You mean peg legs and Bastian?
Yeah.
Peg legs he definitely talked about. Dude is a Chad. Like,
No, you're just obsessed with peg legs.
Yeah.
bro is literally MVP of the day. I don't know what you're
Oh
talking
my
about.
god.
Because it is a fair question of if this guy is not from Arkhona, how did he get to Arkhona and then onto our ship?
Why don't you
Oh,
ask
yes.
him?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
but
kind
that's
of
the but that's the
obvious,
thing.
bro.
I
Oh
He
no,
doesn't want to
Talbot is the
ask
ki-
him. He wants to figure it out.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
I mean,
Beating on
Talbot
his
is the
face.
kind of person he's
Yeah.
like, if you don't ask him, he's not gonna tell you.
Yeah. No, I more mean in character. Like Victoria has no idea that this guy is not from Arkhona. Is what I'm trying to say. Like because there's not a clear. You can't just look at someone and be like, yeah, no, okay, you're not from the same world I am.
I don't know, man. The fact that
Oh,
he's
man,
literally purple and has like bug antenna coming off the top of his head.
Yeah,
I
He's a
haven't seen
bug!
anything like that in Arkhona.
The fact that he looks like Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of like a good tell.
You know the
fact
things
that it
that
looks like
you know
Omni-Man
the things that
Jr..
are in his like little bit that I wrote.
Okay, so okay.
You know that he served on a ship called the INS Queen's Wrath.
Oh, no, the Thunder Child? That's so sad.
The INS.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, fair
The
enough.
IRS.
Would I also know if the INS is for like an Eris ship or like,
No, that's Caroline.
Caroline? Okay, INS. Very well. Okay. Then yeah, back to in character.
Every single ship like belonging to the Caroline Empire is designated Imperial Naval Ship or INS, while Irishan is Irishan Military Ship or AMS.
Okay.
Astral Glory, Crimson Shadow, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. And obviously, a Drake or / pirate ship can be anything.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Then at the comment of like, yeah, it's a pretty weird, fucked up place you're from, or cruel, or whatever. He's like, yeah. Oh, I can't say I because they know a whole lot about where you're from either. So,
From around here, he says with a little smile.
I mean, yeah,
Oh, he's one of those.
but like,
He's just a soul.
like,
He
did you?
plundered the Caroline.
Did you, I don't know, grow up here in the Expanse, or?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fucking knew it.
I grew up on Port Majour itself.
I take it you sailed with Taldros before then?
You can say that we're acquainted.
You're like,
He attempted to sacrifice me. Oh, God.
6
Like,
times.
50 silver that Taldros boarded his ship and fucking kidnapped him.
yeah, he's like,
Sometimes that happens, guys.
yeah,
Like, ranked crew is expensive. You're not just gonna fucking leave them to die on the sea, you know?
It's true.
Word.
Majora kind of looks down at his peg leg. And he's like, I hope it didn't
Dangling.
I hope it didn't do that to you.
Wouldn't be able to.
Because yes.
Please.
Majora nods. He's like, good to know. Oh,
No, weak and feeble.
well, it does feel a bit better knowing that people that have been here before, and well, in your case, been here your entire life, more or less.
More or less. I just knew that I had to go where you're from, but I didn't know when or why. I simply followed the signs. Taldros showed up, and now I'm here. This is where I have to be. I'm sure of it.
Well, so you don't know, met Talendros and then went back with him.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Got a good look of how shit things can be. He flashes you a toothy smile. Like one of his teeth is like a lead color.
How to appreciate
silver
what you
teeth.
have, just go fucking
Yeah.
places that have it worse. Like, damn, I guess I did not have it that bad. Alright.
yeah, certain places and certain places are better than others back home, I guess. But yeah, it is pretty shit overall. That's kind of why we're, I don't know, trying to do some good. But
So I've heard.
Oh, some gossip about us?
uh,
Do
There's
tell.
always gossip.
No, maybe it was sarcasm and he's just being sassy.
What do you mean? He's just
That's
being
true.
sassy.
You know what I mean?
Word.
Exactly.
I take it you had some kind of I don't know, vision, prophecy, gut feeling then that you needed to come to where we're from.
He flashes you another smile. I'm a navigator of sorts.
Holy shit. Tokas, he's to come for your job already.
And yeah, bro, cannot hope to do as good as I can.
He points at the sky. Actually, he cannot point at the sky, motherfucker. Why are we down below the ship?
Look at this navigator. Fucking
He
laughing
starts
at
pointing at the sky. Yeah, he just points at the. Actually, he does point at the roof. It doesn't fucking matter.
No.
He literally just points at the roof and he says, "I follow that constellation." And like he's pointing straight at the wooden fucking beams of the ship.
Bro, navigator, my ass, this guy's
No.
schizophrenic.
My biggest question is how tall are these like rooms? Because if I know a
1
ship, they're really
inch.
short.
1 centimeter.
Okay, he's short too. He's a short.
Well,
dude.
Well, I suppose you can, oh, I need to put my phone on silent. I suppose you can, point that constellation out once we're, above deck sometime.
Of course.
Oh, impossible.
Say, well, since I ran into you anyway, I'll be, going around later to, well, I guess talk to the crew and, whatnot. I'm gonna try putting together some kind of, daily training. I don't know when, mornings, afternoon, whatever. At some point. And I figured, yeah, why not see if anyone on the crew wants to join in as well.
I'll do what I can do.
Yeah, it's
The fucking griffle. Yeah, I'll do what I can do, I guess.
Doing my best.
It's
Best.
yeah, well, I'll figure out what kind of training it'll be.
Sick training.
It'll mostly be physical, I suppose, but yeah, you gotta keep a sharp mind as well.
Fortunately, I have one of the two.
That's.
I'll leave it up to you to
well,
guess which one.
Yeah, that's. You only really need one of them.
Taps the side of his head. Good.
It was the hairline, yeah. That's what it was.
Hairline.
Airline diff.
Well, it was good knowing that. Well, I guess saying that you know what you're doing is a bit I mean, I haven't really seen you doing what you do, but well, there's obviously a reason why TaleChasers picked you.
Of course. There's value in knowledge as well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a while before you get your legs.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
So if you need if you need anything, you know, I'm here.
No, I'll keep that in mind, and that goes the same to you.
As soon as I see a monster, I'll know I need to.
Well, yeah, that as well. I suppose I more meant like I kind of looks up in the ceiling for a moment. It's like, yeah. So as you said, finding your legs and whatnot. From what I read, apparently I'm supposed to be like the role I'm trying to occupy on the ship while not killing monsters is like a go between the crew and the first mate and the captain, I guess. And just making sure equipment and crew are in order.
You mean a boatswain?
I mean, yeah, that I know the name of the yeah.
I was just checking if you knew it, since you were using a lot of descriptive words,
Yeah.
but not. You were kind of dancing around the word boatswain.
Yeah,
so
boatswain
I
or
wasn't really sure if you were like
bosun.
uncomfortable saying
No,
boatswain, or you just didn't know the word, or you weren't sure. So I'm just
No.
like reaffirming it, you know.
No, it's I know it's boatswain or bosun.
Very good.
But
I mean, I'm not a I'm not a boatswain, but like if you want to know things about being a boatswain, you should talk to Peglegs, because he knows a lot about all of it. I mean, the equipment I keep myself busy with is the ammunition. That is what I know best. Our weapons and our ammunition. All of that other stuff, do not ask me. I mean,
No,
you can ask me.
that's
I just will not give you a sensible answer.
right. No, it was mostly me saying, that yeah, you could. That it went both ways, if you needed
Oh,
something.
of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's what you mean. Of course. Of course, you also know the peg legs and all that. So anyway, about monsters and beasts. He kind of like scratches the back of his head.
That's not what I meant, but sure.
So like, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah.
If you're looking for any beasts, I mean, I just happen to know where we are right now, because I did just like look at, I did pinpoint our location. So like, I do know that we are near the ship Grave Reef, and I do know that there is a rumor going about that there is something quite valuable here. If you're into like monster hunting stuff.
Right.
I mean, like, if it ain't true, then you didn't hear it from me. But
No, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, something I can bring up with the captain.
of course, but like, like, he's gonna know it was me. The others wouldn't know.
I'll figure something out.
Very well.
But
There's a treasure in this reef. He like looks left and right. He conspiratorially looks like left and right.
mm-hmm.
They say it's Ethereum worth hundreds of gold pieces, but not just that.
Oh, yeah.
So like 2 pieces.
So it's like one Ethereum. That's what
One
they say then.
Ethereum.
It's like one piece of Ethereum. Right.
But they say it possesses the ability to charm aether beasts.
Oh, fuck yeah, let's go. That's
Oh
not,
my gosh.
that's not
It's the
100 gold
corpse.
pieces, bro. You have no concept of value. What the fuck?
Bro,
What
it's
the fuck is this
it's the
guy up to?
corpse of that one person we used to play. Remember in our allies game, Amber?
The fucking
Strixie
soul
at
got
the
sucked into the Tail
Yep.
Expanse, you see?
Strixie's
Yeah.
character. Her corpse is at the bottom.
Yeah.
I
of
was
this place.
thinking of fluffy isekai, but yeah, sure. The corpse of
What
that
the
person.
Yeah. For reference, she had a magic item that let her cast Charm Monster
Very
once
based.
per day. That was styled in an appropriate manner, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Gulp.
the story, so I'm
Yeah, it
I'm
definitely
aware.
wasn't a dog collar. It definitely wasn't.
Oh, look, an
Uh,
Ethereum dog collar. Where did this come from?
Yeah, put this on. Lets you cast high level spell.
Woof.
Woof.
Let you cast bark for me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Howard bark for me.
Okay. Either they say it possesses the ability to charm aether beasts, which always like. Right. I suppose
Favorite snack.
it's worth looking into. Hmm.
But you know, if it's not true, you didn't hear it from me.
Oh yeah, of course. I'll remember that. Oh, I'll let you get back to counting. Luckily, we didn't really use any ammunition, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get back to doing the rounds.
You go back to doing the rounds.
Mhm.
Upstairs, in the captain's quarters.
Yippee!
You see that TaleChasers is taking all of Vincent's shit and put it in a box and put it in the corner.
Oh fuck! It's being fired. Alright, that's crazy.
All of
honestly.
this shit. You mean like one is like glaive and like what else?
Yeah, literally that. Just
No,
a box
that one
with
that
just
was
a
in a
glaive
fucking
in it.
pocket dimension. It's not even the glaive. It's
It
like a
holds, like,
bunch of
2
copper
items.
pieces.
We
It's
all,
like-
we all
Like
just
his second pair of clothing.
Yeah, exactly. The one that he doesn't have when he has his coat on is just a few clothing and copper pieces.
Yeah. And a couple of mangoes he stole.
Those are rotten. God damn.
I stole them just before we went in here.
he just comes back in 2 sessions like happy that he just came from a wedding, and we just tell him, yeah, the captain threw your shit into the water, bro. It's all gone. It's all
No, I
gone."
imagine that they both have there's 2 boxes. One of them has the captain stuff, and the other one has Vincent stuff, and they just continuously
It's
move
like
each other stuff out and into the box.
it's like instead of Insta Ram, you've got Insta Captain. We have like these 2 little wardrobes with immediately prepared belongings for each of the 2 whenever one becomes the captain.
Exactly. Anyway, the captain has this map for you guys. Yo, homies.
Map.
And
Map?
this is where you are.
Well, this is Lenovo Vantage. This is not the game.
What?
Beautiful. It's I don't know why. There's something.
Smart not paying attention.
No, there was something I wanted to open the map, but a Lenovo Vintage popped up, which is something on my computer.
Rough.
Ship grave reef.
We're
Hi.
there.
Comprehensible. Oh, I want to find whatever this thing is. It looks like a floopy little baby man.
I don't want to find whatever this thing is, and the main reason is because I have a bad experience with whatever this is.
Where are we? We're here?
We're
at the
here.
shipwreck reef.
I imagine we're like there. Like in my head, we're here.
We're
In my
talking
head,
about the
map.
we're here.
No, the
No.
red mark. You fucking this
No,
marker.
I know we're here, but we don't see any islands, so I imagine we're not directly here.
Okay, I'm going to repeat this for the
Yeah.
5th time since last session. There is a fucking group of islands less than a
Yep.
couple stone throws away.
Yeah, there's islands around.
Yep.
Can we please token down so we can just use it as like a we're here marker?
So
No, you
I'm
always
just
got a party
moving my
token.
token over here.
What a party token since when? That's so cute.
Yeah,
Always.
party token.
Whoa, I can't believe
Well,
it.
put out the way.
We've had that when you were still Renwyn.
That's insane.
It's okay, Lawrence. You can also be there
What are you talking
together.
about?
It's okay. You can just delete my token.
Token deleted forever.
Don't want to delete your token. What?
Just delete my sheet. It's fine.
Okay, Lawrence. I will go and you can go into the maelstrom.
Lawrence is dead. Like, we've just lost Lawrence.
I'm cooked.
Now we have some options.
Right. Yeah.
I think none of which will please all of you at once. But I think that's just the way things are. He will point at the place where you are now, and he will point at the lines that you see here that move across the map, and you see little stars or arrows coming from them.
Is that like the Gulf Stream?
Basically, yes. We're gonna open the rules, guys. We have a new rules and out, and it's really big.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was
It's
out.
humongous.
I will read it later.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think you have
fine.
to read it all now, I think. Right?
No.
Yeah, I'm correct, as always.
These lines are wind routes. They are portals opening to other elemental expanses, namely the expanse of wind, through which the weather patterns in the expanse are essentially determined.
Dated by. Okay. I notice that if you, for example, want to get from, we want to go to here. If we're here and we want to go here,
Yeah.
it's like okay, we can just follow that path. But if we wanted to go to Porth Clalo, let's say, we would have to go to this star, and then we'd have to go through this gap over here down to this star, and then we'd have to ride it
Right.
all the way up.
If you'd want to do that safely, I'd imagine you instead go all the way down here, travel this closest line to the next wind route, and then just go.
You know, that
through
takes so much longer, bro.
No, I know, but I imagine, like, based on what I'm reading, it's this is a dead zone between those things.
Yeah, basically, if you're not traveling across a wind route, your ship does not move because there's just no wind. It's like following wind currents, only that these wind currents are very clearly defined by the paths that wind takes when it streams out of an elemental portal from the plane of air.
Which means that
There
unless we
are-
manage.
There are other portals all over the place, but these are the ones that are at least semi-permanent enough that they've been mapped.
Yeah,
It is still
basically,
possible to go from one travel like arm to another. You just run the risk of your ship ending up in a doldrum. If you don't have any other means of propulsion, so if you don't have any other spells or moats or another way to get like wind in your sails, basically.
Yeah, which we don't have. The two main ways that we've seen so far are either spells, or as Ember mentioned earlier, or the last session, are these modes of elemental air, which is basically elemental air from the plane of air stored into a little container that you open like a Pandora's vase and makes you go fast.
Could we, in principle, surf the ship?
What?
No, think
Well,
so?
like, if the rumors are true and the water, right, / souls move on will, could you then not will the water to tilt, which would slowly move your ship forward?
You would need to have a significantly large like force of people who can do that and who are like capable.
Just-
Like it's one thing to
just-
do it for your own
yes.
body, it's another thing to do it for a 10-ton ship.
Yeah,
you need like 10 people at the same time being able to be like.
it's
Yeah,
also the fact
you need
that
more than
in
10
the-
people.
Something like that, yeah.
It's also the fact that what you're referring to is a different way of swimming, of basically moving your own body across the Ethereum, liquid Ethereum, which is by basically, communing with the souls that make part of it. If you want to use an entire ship, it's a considerable larger mass that you have to interact with, and
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's
I get
beyond
it.
a lot of people's abilities.
But like the principle is like the same as if you were to stick 20 people in the bottom and had like oars to row, but now you put 20 people in the boat. They're
Yeah,
like,
but
water, please go forward.
pretty much it
There's a
would
reason
just
people don't use oars to fucking sail, like on this
yeah,
play
it
in this
would take a
place.
lot of
Yeah.
time and
It
probably
takes a
the effort
huge
would be
amount of
tremendous.
time.
What I'm hearing is we need an astropathic choir.
But basically, yeah.
Or we need someone that can cast elemental magic.
Could
Well, eventually we'll
Mhm.
get there.
You
But yeah, for now, the main way of transportation is following these main routes. There are some like temporary portals that open that are not uncharted, so sometimes you can also like sail around, find a portal that will stay there for God knows how long, and you have your secret little wind route that no one knows about,
You can do that.
and it's sometimes safer because if everyone has to follow specific roads, then those roads will be the ones that are maybe preyed upon by pirates, and you're likely going to encounter a lot more people, a lot more ships on these routes.
Correct. There are some places that you can get to with relative ease. Traveling on a wind route is basically a travel leg. Traveling from one to like wind route to another is also a travel leg. Or if you say, "Oh, I want to go from this one and I want to go to all the way to that one," it might be two travel legs. If you want to cross a great vast distance, you could take as long as 2 weeks to make your way to another smooth sailing route. Regardless, there's a couple places that are in your immediate vicinity. There is the Monstera cluster
Hey,
that
that's
lays
so
on the same
cute.
wind route.
That's great.
It is kind of cute. It is named mostly for the monstrously large flora that grows on the islands.
Oh, yippee!
There is a port here. There is a port here. There you can make trade here and whatnot.
Huge.
But
How do we say this?
We don't.
they eat people. I don't know.
Huge.
No, they have trade and whatnot. Like there is a port. It's called Port Splendid, and they have like weekly markets there. Like actually not weekly, monthly markets there. But basically the whole island like shrinks down in population between these markets. There's almost no one there when these
Damn,
markets are
that's
not
so
going.
sad.
But there's quite a few people there. I mean, there's also a lot of dangerous things there, but that's just how it is.
In a
So
monstrous
if this is
thing.
dangerous and there's a port, we might find some capable people there too.
Perhaps so. There is already land to explore around us if we think that we could take the time. It'd be a pity to leave and have to return on a later date. What
That's also
exactly can we find around Shipgrave Reef? I believe the name itself is explanatory, but I wouldn't let myself be deceived by first appearances.
true. Shipgrave Reef. is a relatively small cluster of islands. There's 4 main islands, which are all quite sizable land masses, about 2 miles across, which are all volcanic rock when magma spewed out of a portal through the expanse of fire and meshed with the sea quite violently to form this little chain of islands. There is precious little on the islands themselves, at least in terms of. You're not going to find a port here, that's for sure. You're not going to really find people here. Supplies can be obtained. A lot of ships have run aground in these waters in eons past. A lot
Figures,
of
yeah.
battles have taken place here as well, all in search of something that lies beneath the waves.
Ah, jeez.
There's a particularly popular tale that speaks of a merfolk called Emil Markov, who was supposedly shipwrecked somewhere within the archipelago with the ship The Legend, and he was never heard from again.
Hmm.
I don't want to sound like the non-adventurer here, but it's cool and all. But if this is the entry point that we came in, wouldn't this be the entry point most people from Etharis that if they could come in would come in through here?
No one is coming from Etharis. No one dared to cross the portal in years. We are the first ones. I will tell you now that they'll barely be able to muster up another ship if they ever saw one to send someone behind us. Nor do I see the reason. They never wanted to cross the gate, and now they've got the perfect excuse to let us do
Didn't
that.
go right the first time. I'ma tell you that much.
Yeah.
Anyway, on top of that, ignoring that entire possible thing, wouldn't it? We can always come back, right?
It's a waste of time. Traveling takes a lot of time.
No,
The
I
expanse is
know.
wide, and time is on the run. I would much prefer be able to dock near a wide enough landmass. I want to walk around, take a look at what we're dealing with, see what kind of effect Ethereum has on things around this place. And,
Yeah,
well,
that's
if we're
right.
able to find any clues on the landmass that's already around us, we'll get on top.
But we can't dock here. We can lay the ships still, but there's no docking.
That is indeed not what I said. We are simply anchoring the ship, and then we'll get to shore.
Literally said dock, but all right.
Well, that is what I have in mind. If this place has wrecked ships, maybe we were able to find something useful. Clues, ledgers, flags.
We don't need any of that. Not to
We need
sound-
everything. This is a completely new place.
We are stocked up on food and drink, and
We're not gonna find food or drink at the bottom of the ocean, Zarius.
no, that's my point. We currently have food and drink. If we manage to get to a dock with food and drink spare, then we can always continue exploring wherever we're landing. Maybe do a quest for whatever thing. Maybe someone will trade valuta for the currency here. But I'd
How much
rather have a
supplies do we have at home?
certainty first before we start doing random things.
Well, the certainty is there, because points on the map. We know where to go. We know how far it is, and we know how much we have in stock. Going there and coming back is simply a waste of supplies. But ready here.
Yeah, I'm not saying we should go back. I said we could. I never said we should. I'm saying if we go and dock, we can dock. We're here with one purpose.
Our purpose is manifold. Our goal is one. but the ways to reach such goal are many. We can't simply sail into the maelstrom or we'll die. We need information, we need the means, and we need the people.
Information means people. All of it is at one location, and that's at a port.
We won't find everything. And
Give me.
I'm sure I'll be able to find something here.
Yeah, but why?
Because we are already here.
We need money, Zarius! Lawrence isn't here, but we need money!
Between you and me, I know that you'd really like to go and search out your hammock so you can sleep. I know you were awfully tired during the funeral earlier.
I'm sorry.
You do not have any coin. Nothing will come to you for free in this place.
Yeah.
Well, that is
but I
also
do have
true.
valuta. Not money. Goods you can trade.
You don't
Well-
have goods to trade.
I look at my gems.
That is also the case. Again, we have been granted the luck by perhaps fortune or whoever else to be sent directly into landmass after that whole ordeal. I don't want to waste that chance. I want to take a look around, see if there's anything worth. Give a day to the crew to rest, maybe two. Make sure that the ship is still in sailing conditions, and as we do that, we can take a look around. We can get acquainted with the place, we can get acquainted with the environment.
Yeah, sure.
And if we are lucky, we'll find something worth.
And who's to say, Monstera is not my favorite place of choice. There are other routes. The Drakes
so?
have plenty people.
What has Monstera that deters you so?
With Drakes, you know what you get. It's hard to say the same when Irisians or Caroline dock.
I suppose I understand what you mean. Well, we'll eventually have to deal with all three of them. Whether we are hostile to them or not, I'd prefer to remain on at least neutral grounds to every faction we stumble upon. Of course, it's wishful thinking to believe that we'll never have to pick a side throughout a year worth of journey. But at least in the beginning, I'd love to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Plus, I've heard good things of both, and I am interested in both the Caroline and the Arisian. I've heard the Empire has engines on their vessels that myself I find quite interested in.
They're Irisians. Star drive engine.
Well, then I suppose it's the Arisians I should hope to meet.
We'll briefly go back to Lawrence and Vittorio. Is there anything you guys wanted to do before you join the rest and making a decision?
Lawrence wants to sleep. Lawrence is, I don't
And
know, hammock bound.
and coincidentally, Vittorio wants to find Lawrence.
You will find him where you will find a cocoon of sorts, I guess. There's a big fluffy ball of black and white feathers that is wrapped in a hammock. Maybe Vasily is occupied, like maybe some sort of desk, or is just writing on the floor or leaning against a wall or something. Or maybe he's in the hammock as well. Yeah, okay. There's a hammock, there's a big fluffy ball, and there's a Vasily on top of it. That is regenerating by osmosis.
That is quite the mental image there. Yeah, Vittorio stumbles across this, and he's like almost does a double take first, and he's like, oh, like, Vasily, Lawrence.
Oh, Vittorio.
Yeah, good to see you're in one piece, Vasily.
Well, it wasn't so bad. They only had to put out a couple fires, below the deck.
Yeah, I heard about that. A couple candles and whatnot getting knocked over.
That wasn't the worst part. You see, in the lowest deck, there was some of that liquid stuff. And then the fire got on the liquid stuff and it just went... And, there was just gas everywhere. And people were, getting nauseated and passing out and stuff. It was not good.
That really does not sound good at all.
No, it is definitely not water, so...
Huh. Guess we'll have to check over how secure the liquid Ethereum supplies are. Well, it's good that you managed to help out with that. Is Lawrence sleeping or?
Sort of. I mean, he is here. Lawrence.
Rumbling.
He's awake.
Oh, Lawrence, if you have a moment, you could spare, that would be great. I know you're pretty, tired isn't really the right word, but, yeah.
Lawrence, the like a clam opening up to stimuli, the wings split open, and a pair of eyes reflect the candlelight of the chamber. Can I help you with Vittorio?
No, it's not really help me with anything. I just wanted to. Well, I guess first, I wanted to say thank you for bringing me back from wherever that place was where we went.
That was strange.
It was, and I got pretty worried when, well, you just kind of vanished.
Yeah, my boyfriend over here seems to have wanted me back in the real world, so...
Good thing he did.
Indeed. I guess. It was a real close thing, Vittorio. I almost didn't have enough magic to bring you back. Didn't help that I was quite literally blind and reeling from being burnt alive.
Yeah, I didn't really know how things went down in the end. I also just kind of remember some heat, fire. But I'm thankful that you managed. And
By the skin of my teeth.
and I mean I can only really speak for myself, I guess, but I like before when it's happened as well, I don't feel like I'm strong enough to do things differently. And in regards to that, I decided that I'm gonna try, at least for my own sake, and well, really whoever else wishes to join in. And I figured, you might maybe share some of my feelings and thoughts on the matter, but I'm gonna try and put together some mostly physical training, maybe some tactical training or things like that. Run it every day on the ship. Those who want to join in, they can join in. Need something to occupy myself and yeah.
I understand. I also felt powerless.
Victor, he nods, and there's like a very a low hum.
You don't want to feel that way again, and so you want to do something about it. And I think it's a good idea, Vittorio. I do think it is a good idea. We can bring it up with the others after a little bit of rest. And yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have enough crew to be able to put some time aside for such a thing.
Yeah, as far as I know it, crew works on some kind of rotation anyway, so well, we can probably figure something out. And, well, not everyone on the crew might be interested anyway, but, hey, the more the merrier. Also, I suppose it'll help us, integrate. No, it doesn't say integrate. That's too big of a word. Help us, get along with the crew a bit more.
Yes, I plan to speak to them about my condition later.
Yeah, probably a good idea to do that as quick as possible before a bunch of rumors starts going around. And again, most of them.
You've already started, but I'll clear them up.
Yeah.
Don't need to worry.
Okay. Well,
Blessed with a tongue to cut through deception.
it is quite sharp.
Get some rest, Vittorio. the shell begins to close. We'll need all the strength we have.
Hmm. Right.
And, if the others stop making decisions, you can speak on my behalf. I'll agree with whatever you go with.
They like opens his mouth, about to say something.
How did you know?
What?
Like, how did you know that they were making a decision right as
Oh.
we speak?
Damn.
Because I know my party members. Also, I just had a great idea. Amber, I'm gonna dematerialize my wings for a moment so Vasily falls onto me, and then I will materialize them again.
What?
Absorb.
Forceful acquisition.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
into
right
the
thing. He's like,
clam.
Mechanical abuse. Yeah, but no.
Using no mechanicals. Sorry.
Materialize both at once, or do I have to do one at a time? Or like, can I like only concentrate on one wing and be like a one-winged angel type thing?
it's a little bit weird.
Etharis.
I was thinking of that guy from Devil May Cry, but yeah.
I was thinking of that guy from Final Fantasy.
Sephiroth.
Oh yeah, I'm literally him, guys.
Oh
I'm literally
no,
him, dudes. Look at me, I'm literally him.
guys! I think we should turn around if we have Sephiroth on our ship.
No, I don't know what you're talking
What do you
about.
mean? That man can cast Meteor Swarm. We're good if we're on his side.
Yeah, but I don't think Sephiroth would be on our side.
Why not? What have we done, you know?
He's just a guy.
I'm just a guy in the world.
But no, yeah, Victoria will nod and he wishes Lawrence and Vasily a good rest, and he'll slowly but surely make his way up to the captain's quarters.
All right. Hello, chat. Oh, I posted some things in the chat before hello, chat appeared.
Nearby options, regardless if you go into ship grave reef first.
I mean, Drakes are cool.
Drake means pirate in this context.
Okay, Drakes are less cool.
Yeah, it's
I feel like every time I say something,
Yeah.
it goes into one ear and goes out the other, and then you're like, oh, a word, that is cool.
yeah, the port of Drakes. It's indeed a lot of pirates.
Well, as oh my god. Well, as Taldros sort of pointed out, it's it might be pirates, but at least they're direct.
Oh yeah,
with Caroline
At
and
least
with-
you know. At least you can expect that you get a knife in your back, you know.
Exactly.
yeah. That's fair.
With the
also,
with,
you'd get a knife in your back for sure.
I mean, that's the
I
point.
want you to know that some of your crews consider Drakes too. Like,
Yeah.
No,
That's the point. Like,
Bastian
on
is
one
definitely a
side,
Drake.
you know you'll get a knife in your back. On the other, you live with the fear that you might. You know, what would you prefer, the certainty or the constant doubt?
get thrown into a star drive engine.
But you say like that doesn't happen on either way. Sure, you'll know you have to get a knife in the back, but you'll still have to fear and worry for when you do. Like,
Nah, that's not true. I don't. I can see the future. I literally see when it happens.
well, I mean, I think
You guys can also withhold on this decision and make the other decision first if you want to.
yeah, I mean that's also true.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
The first decision I'd like to make, which is the one that's most direct, is to basically anchor ship down and we rest for the evening as we are all pretty spent. And I like to take a little bit to explore around this place. I don't wanna take a few 10 days to sail all the way to whatever big port we decide to go to and then never come back here again. I think there's, you know, we've been skipping on a lot in our home world because of our time crunch. I think it's time we take our time and make sure that we are through.
So we are
Thorough.
Thorough, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And
He's
I
throwing
mean,
the game.
Yeah.
He's throwing the game, yeah. I mean, I think Zarius made it pretty clear. I think from his perspective, he'd like to do more than, we couldn't find out here, but we could spend 10 days finding nothing at all, or finding something while there's pretty sure we can find some form of work at a port.
Yeah,
So
but not in
Zarius
10
is-
days. It takes multiple.
Yeah, but
multiple-
we have the gear to go there. Like, you need to perspective. We could spend a 10-day here and then still have to travel that 10 day. Like, it's
That's true,
not
but like
mutually
nothing
exclusive.
would have happened if we spent a 10-day here.
Besides, I imagine, like, logistically, our what do you call it? Our food going down.
I can already tell you that our food supplies are no concern. We're stocked up on the maximum amount of food supplies and grog.
I know, but even in the grand scheme of things, if we spend 10 without being sure we can get something out of it, that's still 10 lost.
It's not lost. Everything is a gamble. Going to any port is a gamble. We don't know what will happen. The point is, we have to take these chances, try and find something useful. I think there's something useful here.
I'll say that when Vittorio gets up to the captain's quarters and gets up to speed, and the subject about the shipgrave reef is brought up. He's like, yeah, I heard some of the crew talking about some kind of rumor or legend. Well, I mean, I guess it was a rumor about a legend or something. I don't think it has anything to do with that mer folk, but maybe I don't know. But there was like some kind of treasure that maybe possesses the ability to charm aether beasts. I supposedly should be somewhere around here.
Well, I don't know about legends or not. That's definitely more far-fetched. But you know how it is most of the time in these places when there's a myth. Probably part of it is true.
And there's
It'd be
a myth,
nice
and
to find something like that. Beneath the waves. I've been sketching around in my head on a few ideas on how to dive below the waves and look for wreckages, but hey, if we stumble about a mythical piece of Ethereum that can charm aether beasts, I think we're off a good start. If not, I think there's other more practical things we can likely find.
Oh yeah, I more meant like, because we were talking about Shipgrave Reef, in general. I mean, since there's a lot of shipwrecks and shit here, I'm sure we can find something.
I still think it's a good idea to make sure our ship and crew can be safe first, and like get time off and work at a place we can for sure get work, instead of randomly doing things about. Especially considering all of that is on the water, so that immediately makes it worse.
Well, if it makes it better, it's not water.
Yeah, it's worse than water. Great.
Just looks down out of the window. I don't know. I find it more fascinating the water. But
Yeah, the same way I find a demonic creature more fascinating than a dog. That still means I'd rather spend time with a dog.
I mean, I guess to each their own. But for now, it's 2-1. We need to know what Lawrence thinks.
Oh, Lawrence said I could speak for him.
Well, 3-1. That's my lucky day.
Yeah, it's almost as if the future was foretold.
As if I would use my capabilities for something so silly. I can win an argument with you without portending my fate.
I mean,
No, you cannot.
It seems I just did.
No, it was a multiple vote. There was no argument won.
That's true.
Since I had to explain that, I guess I won the argument of what an argument is.
to maybe like make you feel better or something, Darius. He looks over at Taldros. Like how long it is until the next one of these monthly markets over at the Monstera cluster?
I don't have any money.
Turkus looks at Vittorio. Even if we had a market, we can't buy anything.
Oh,
Right?
no, that's not. Like pinches his nose bridge and is like, I was trying to see if that like there's not a market gonna be going on when we would have arrived. Then there's basically no people there.
I need to get some intel before that.
Yeah, I do believe it's hard to tell
know.
the time.
No, well, fair enough. Like,
I'm back.
Go back.
okay.
We have just entered the expense. It's likely that we're gonna have to adapt to it and adjust to whatever time cycle there is before we can make any plans. Hence, I think taking a moment to stabilize and get acquainted is a good idea. And make use of what's around us at that point.
I mean, yeah.
Spirit of adventure.
So-
Let's do adventurous stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Victoria's like, I mean, yeah, sorry to say, Darius. I think it makes more sense to check out what is right next to us than start a 10-day at the least journey
Which
immediately.
we will have to take immediately anyway.
Yeah, but this
You're saying
way
we're
the crew
exhausting
gets
ourselves more.
no. It's
Well, if you're so
literally
tired,
the
Darius, you can go back home. I can open the portal and you can find the room to sleep in. We're not here to sleep.
No, we're here
Get
to do a
work.
job.
It's the opposite of exhausting us. If we're taking a few days where the crew can recuperate. No, he doesn't say recuperate. Where the crew can recover while we look into things.
But
Over
we're
it.
not getting the rest.
But we're not the ones in need of it.
Don't worry, Zarius. You can stay on the ship with me.
I suppose that's an option.
Who says that?
The captain. Who else?
The captain. Yeah, no, I know, but I was like, the captain's voice normally is very rough, so I was confused for a moment. No. As if people are gonna die again, I'm gonna need to be there. And I kind of look at the crew, or look at the
That's-
captain. He was about to say something, and then he doesn't.
Well, the decision is made. We'll stay here, at least a 10-day, take a look around the islands, and perhaps if we get the chance, even below. I'll try and snoop a look below the waves, see if I can find anything interesting.
All right.
In the meantime, I suppose it would be useful to make a chart of the current constellations and see where to go from that. If it's true the navigation is based on the stars, then taking a moment to figure out their position at our current time will at least help us navigate this place a bit better.
Very well.
Yeah. I last thing as well, I already spoke to Lawrence about it. I was gonna see if I could start handling some training on a daily basis. Physical training, I don't know, swordsmanship, all kinds of things. I was gonna, well, all of you, of course, welcome to join in. I'm gonna extend an invitation to all of the crew as well.
Really gonna suggest physical training to the people that do heavy labor every day. I look at
Yeah.
I look at Vittorio.
The point is not the physical labor. The point is the swordsmanship. We have sailors. We don't have soldiers. Now, if we had both, that would be better. I think it's a good idea.
It's all.
Training people can help.
It's also to well, I guess get along better with everyone on the crew, doing things together, and yeah, I just kind of need something concrete to focus on.
I get the point, but don't we already do something? Like controlling a ship is a group effort. I look at the captains like communication's very important, I think.
And you've
Well.
done plenty of that.
Okay, I was burning alive for like 30 seconds.
Well, that was
Yeah.
plenty of communication.
I'm
Well,
glad you kept count.
I think it's a good idea, Dorian. I think it will do good for morale, for the unity of the crew, and letting a, I guess, improving on how to swing their saber would definitely help out. I don't want to get bored anytime soon, but in the case that happens, I want to be prepared.
You're telling me that these people don't know how to swing a sword?
I'm sure they have basic form of training, but if you had them duel Vittorio, then they definitely would not come out on top. No.
That's unfair. Any of us dueling Vittoria would fucking lose.
You missed the
Mhm.
point. I'm not speaking of Vittorio the Witcher, I'm speaking of his swordsmanship. Vittorio is a
Oh, I
skilled
wouldn't.
fighter with his weapons. I don't believe we can say the same for most of the people on this boat. Now, will they ever become warriors of his level? Likely not. But if they can inherit a fraction of his knowledge, I suppose that will definitely help them out.
Yeah, I suppose so.
How long do we work in shifts? I look at the captain like I'm just trying to imagine the time periods for when crew is available to do things while working.
Crew gets up in different shifts. As long as they do their job, I don't care when they sleep. You'll have to
Yeah, but
realign their schedules if you want to get anything like that done.
yeah, but like you have to imagine that 12-hour workday, give or take. I mean, sailing a ship is pretty much a full-time job. Then take into account sleep and relaxation, food. Kick onto it pretty heavily. That's more my point.
Well, I'm sure we can fit a schedule that helps everyone. They'll get plenty of rest as we're gonna sit here for 10 days or so.
Yeah, we'll figure out a schedule. Just talk between captain, first mate, boatswain, and all of that.
We have a 10-day for that.
No, because in that 10-day we're out.
Not all of us need to
Lawrence
be.
is the first mate.
Yeah, well, sorry, so we're not gonna stay out 24 hours. We will likely return to the ship, and we'll have time in 10 days to figure out when people want to sleep and when people want to work.
Well then, you guys want to go to Shipgrave Reef?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to the ship grave and find a place to anchor the ship and then get to the shore.
Using your own little boat?
I'll use Leopold's boat and get us to shore with the party and anyone else that wishes to tag along.
Very well.
Damn, we used the ship. It was cursed. It explodes.
Very funny.
Amber moment.
It explodes at like
I would
15d6
never-
fire damage.
I would never do that.
Nah, you would do that a lot of times, actually.
Bum, 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 bum.
I already know how to do this. Amber, I'm not sure if you answered the question earlier, but is ether poisoning by simply submerging yourself in ether, or do you have to imbibe it?
It is imbibing ether.
So if I, for example, am a creature completely submerged in ether, I do not contract poisoning until it gets into my body.
Creature.
Yeah, it needs to get into your body. There's also ways you can contract it. You can contract fever by inhaling it, like in a
Yeah,
gaseous
so
form.
it gets into
But
your
yeah, it
body.
needs to
at
get,
the end.
yeah, it's not you go into the water and like you know
Yeah, I was just wondering
instantly
of
die
like,
through because it gets onto your skin. It doesn't work.
yeah. So in that case, if you have I don't know if water breathing will work because I think it only works in water, but if you hold your breath, it should be
Mhm.
you should not be contracting poisoning.
It should be fine indeed.
Succumbing to the poison.
Stop succumbing.
Okay, sorry.
That was the captain being like, "Stop being sick!" Slap the sickness out of you. Yeah.
We will begin next session on the shores of a black sanded beach beneath the perpetual twilight of the ethereal expanse.
Hey.
When you first saw this group of islands through that strange fleshy membrane, you remember seeing a battle going on here. 6 ships converging on the reef, hunting for treasure. But you didn't see any of those ships when you landed here. So where did they go?
Yeah.
I think I have a clue.
Guess we'll find out.
Sure.
'Cause next session you'll be exploring Ship Grave Reef.
And below. Whee!
Yippee!
Below.
Can't wait to go below Shipgrave Reef.
Yeah, and it turns out it's a turtle.
Turns out there's an entire city of merfolks underneath. When you trespass, they shoot your boat.
Why are they shooting the boat?
Well, you know, you're trespassing, they pull out their trusty Arisian commissioned self-defense firearm, and they just put a hole in your boat with a cannon.
Lovely.
I understand.
For now we're gonna close off this this session
Thus we
Yeah,
shall.
okay. Well,
and allow everyone to rest.
Yippee! Resting
We'll
so
see you next
cool.
time.
we will indeed. Thank you very much for hosting, Amber, and thank you guys for being here and playing.
Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Emma, for hosting this wonderful game.
No
Yep.
problem at all.
We'll see you guys next week. Until then, bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.